A phoenix rises. Huawei's unexpected return. The tech world was shocked. Huawei, a company written off by many, had returned. Left for dead after devastating US sanctions, Huawei rose from the ashes. The Mate 60 Pro was their announcement. This wasn't just a new phone, it was a message. Huawei was back. The world was watching. This was more than just a corporate comeback. It was a powerful symbol of China's technological ambition. The US had tried to cripple Huawei. It had seemingly failed. The ramifications were huge. This was about chips, yes, but also about AI, 5G, and global dominance. The tech world braced itself. A new era had begun. The fall of a giant US sanctions and Huawei's struggle. Huawei was once a titan, a global leader in telecommunications, a symbol of China's technological rise. Then came the US sanctions. In 2019, the Trump administration dealt a crushing blow. Huawei was blacklisted, cut off from vital US technology. The impact was immediate. Huawei's global smartphone sales plummeted. Access to Google's Android operating system was revoked. The future looked bleak. Chips, the lifeblood of modern technology, were restricted. The US aimed to cripple Huawei's ability to innovate. It was a major escalation in the technological Cold War between the two superpowers. Defiance in the desert. SMIC and the 7 nanometers breakthrough. China refused to back down. The sanctions were a call to arms. China poured resources into its domestic chip-making champion, SMIC. The goal was clear: achieve technological independence. The West watched with skepticism. Could China really bridge the gap? The answer would come sooner than expected. SMIC, utilizing older deep ultraviolet lithography technology, achieved a breakthrough. They produced a 7 nanometer chip. The significance was undeniable. It was a direct challenge to the West's technological dominance. The US was caught off guard. Sanctions had backfired. They had only fueled China's determination. Section 4. The Mate 60 Pro, a symbol of resilience. The Mate 60 Pro was more than a phone. It was a statement. Powered by SMIC's 7 nanometer Kirin 9000S chip, it was a symbol of defiance, proof that China could innovate despite US pressure. The phone itself boasted impressive specs, but it was the underlying message that reverberated around the world. The release sent shockwaves through the tech industry. Analysts scrambled to assess the situation. Was this a one-off or a sign of things to come? The answer was crucial. Huawei's comeback had the potential to reshape the technological landscape. The game had changed. Section 5. Shifting sands, global repercussions, and the tech Cold War. The global repercussions were immediate. Apple, the world's most valuable company, felt the heat. iPhone sales in China plummeted. The Chinese market, once dominated by foreign brands, shifted dramatically. Domestic companies, led by Huawei, surged in popularity. The US was facing a dilemma. The sanctions had failed to contain China. In fact, they seemed to have had the opposite effect. Countries around the world watched closely. The Mate 60 Pro was a stark reminder. The balance of power and technology was shifting. The tech Cold War was heating up. Section 6. Beyond smartphones. The battle for technological supremacy. The battle extended far beyond smartphones. Semiconductors, the brains of all modern electronics, were the real prize. Artificial intelligence, quantum computing, and advanced weaponry all relied on these tiny chips. The US still held an edge with companies like Intel, Nvidia, and Qualcomm, but Huawei's resurgence was a wake-up call. China was investing heavily in research and development. They were determined to close the gap. The stakes were enormous. Technological supremacy was increasingly intertwined with economic and military power. The future of global leadership hung in the balance. Section 7. A New World Order, the future of tech and global power. The Mate 60 Pro was a watershed moment. It signaled the arrival of a new era, an era where China would no longer play second fiddle to the West in technology. The implications were profound. Global power dynamics were being reshaped. The old order was crumbling. The US faced a choice: double down on confrontation or find a way to cooperate. The future of technology, and perhaps the world, depended on the answer. One thing was certain: the tech world would never be the same. The age of Huawei had returned.